You are welcome to HN What's Your Say? The #1 listening show where we discuss real issues with real people like you. We are still featuring R. Kelly. Real name Robert Sylvester Kelly. Also known as the R&B King. The US government is slowly killing the institution of family by being proactive defending family intruders whose primary goal is always to tap into a family's wealth, and if possible walk away with everything in the end, leaving the primary beneficiaries of a man's wealth with completely nothing. The American people have completely failed to figure out the composition of the Me Too movement. The authenticity and value of any organization can only be as big as the identities of the people behind it. That is why when making an investment in a startup company, one needs to make a thorough background check on the directors of this organization, and be sure they don't have a crooked background that will not create value for money. Returning to the Me Too Foundation, which of late has been responsible for the takedown of some of the greatest and most powerful men in this country, the world has been blinded to think that this organization is one of good intention, simply because they haven't done thorough background checks to understand what kind of people are behind it, and what values they do represent. While they claim they have now grown to include men and women of all color and background, the principles along which the organization was formed haven't changed and may never be altered. This is originally an organization of heartbroken feminists whose worst enemy is family. The founders of the Me Too Foundation are quick to rally behind gold diggers and fortunists because they identify easily with them. It's the same way black people will always look out for each other because they are sure they share origin, and a formerly homeless person will likely start up an organization to care for the homeless. All good initiatives. If a woman's history involves entanglements with married men who have kids that caused her heartbreaks and disappointment, she will worry for gold diggers and fellow extortionists because that's exactly what she is. The challenge we now have in this country is that as a result of careless legislation, the women in this unfortunate category have now reached the critical number required to have them parade outside the Capitol and demand for rights. In other words, the enemy to the organized family setting has grown in number and is demanding the right to destroy even more families with legal protection. And this is the genesis of the Me Too Foundation. Just like the gold diggers and fortunists we have mentioned, the Me Too Foundation does not really care about the well-being of the children in the family that is under attack. All they care about is what they walk away with, and if it's possible, they would wish to take everything and leave the family for dead. These are the kind of groups the government is supporting lately, likely because this government has also been infiltrated by these very fortunists. They are now everywhere and the family as an institution is no longer safe. While it was socially unacceptable for a woman to even look at a married man or go as far as moving into his home and more, this has become the new normal because the number of these people has propagated. We shouldn't get surprised if in future the thieves are the most protected group in the world. We have already seen this in governments where the most corrupt officials are technically the most protected. It's therefore not a surprise to see that throughout this R. Kelly trial period, no government representative, no social advocate, no Me Too Foundation leader has come out to even issue a comment on the welfare of R. Kelly's children. These entitled women have looked at these children as undeserving mistakes who should pay a price, just because some other women chose to give a shot at becoming second wife to their father and were disappointed. It's only these three little lovely children that have been lined up to be defrauded while the gold diggers distribute R. Kelly's royalties amongst themselves. And the new US government is so entrenched in supporting this category of people while putting the needs of these young kids in the dustbin. What has our country turned into? I was shocked to see a Santi McGee, who also moved into R. Kelly's home at the age of 35, show up on the Surviving R. Kelly docuseries talking about R. Kelly's children and comparing herself to them. This is when she said because R. Kelly had kids he shouldn't have done these things to them. Surprisingly, no one is asking why they decided to date this older man with 3 little kids that needed him in the first place. Shouldn't a 35-year-old woman know that by doing this she was destroying the future of these 3 children? Why does it have to be only R. Kelly's fault and not hers? The government is indeed infiltrated by gold diggers and they've got to protect their kind. This is how organizations are forming lately to defend one bad habit after another. We no longer see new organizations come up to do good. The devil is taking over the world at a pace faster than usual and will soon be influencing all legislations. While it was socially illegal in the past to get close to a married man, your boss and anyone who may have power over you, these days the government protects women who found themselves in hotel rooms alone with men. One will wonder why on earth any woman would end up in a hotel room alone with her boss, like her work table had been misplaced and someone told her the hotel had it cleared. Where on earth is business discussed in hotel rooms with a bed as the major piece of furniture if not the only one? I think it's time people made a counter-organization that encourages women to start taking accountability for their actions as well. There are boundaries which a woman shouldn't cross willingly if she must get government support against a man she claims wronged her. Stay in the hotel lobby and we will arrest him for physically forcing you upstairs and into his paid room. Parents should restrict their children's movements if they are still underage. If these women had been in school, which the parents are obligated to ensure, where would R. Kelly find them? It shouldn't be okay for a parent to take their underage child to a mature all-adult concert, and later blame the whole world but themselves when they end up in relationships with older men. No one would expect a parent to loiter with their underage daughter at an R. Kelly concert running backstage to have them meet the star. Because it's such people comprising the Me Too movement, it must step in and defend its own. It's time for these people to realize that by locking up R. Kelly for 31 years and splitting his wealth among this team of family enemies, they are killing these little children softly. Shame on this government which will no longer hold people accountable for their morals, but instead focus on using them as tools to destroy the great men of this world and divide their wealth amongst themselves. Every single one of them wants a share of R. Kelly's royalties from Sony. According to Lisa Ayers, why are these women even thinking that they would be entitled to his royalties? Do they not know this man has 3 children? While his ex-wife deserves nothing of his sweat, his children should be in charge of his estate when he is in prison, and by doing this, they are technically robbing from the kids. Hopefully sooner than later the government will get back to its senses after losing the appeal. If you wish to take part in a live interview on this channel discussing any of these topics, let us know by emailing us on sashahnnewsroom@gmail.com for scheduling. That is all we had for you today on HN What's Your Say? To keep updated whenever we post a new video, subscribe to this channel now. Also remember to hit the bell icon and enable notifications. And feel free to share your opinions with us in the comment section below, and let us know if you would like us to publish your views in our next release. We value all our subscribers' opinions.